Hey y'all, it's Kim with Stitching with Southern Places and Faces. I'm here for my monthly FlossTube. It's Saturday, April 5th. It's a little bit later than I would normally like to film, but I have to film on weekends because I am so busy through the week, and this was like the first Saturday in April that I could film. We have been just a quick life update. We're doing great. A lot of you have inquired about Steve. He is here. Steve, come on over. He's just going to say hello.
Hello.
Hello. He's showing himself out, which is so funny. He's sitting right over there being quiet. He'll be here if I need him to help me with anything. But no, we are doing very well. We're getting ready to go on a trip. April is my birthday month, and it's also our anniversary month, so we're going to be heading down to Pensacola, Florida. I understand there is a cross-stitch store there, so I will probably be popping in. I don't buy a lot of things anymore because I have a huge stash. I am in the Grace Notes Fabric Club of the month, and every once in a while I'll download a pattern because I am not using markup a lot now. But I just don't buy a lot because I just don't feel the need to. I did buy the Nashville Market Cookbook for this year, and that was all I bought from market releases. So you're not going to see a ton of haul because I'm stitching from stash mostly, and if you used to watch me before, you know I got a pretty big stash. So, all right. And I'm going to, please forgive me if I kind of look at myself sometimes instead of into the camera, but sometimes I'm not great at that. So the last time that I was with you, I said I was going to clean out my craft room, and I did. And I have things organized. There's still a lot to do. I've got to get in the closets and move some things around and just fit some things in there better. And also I need to organize my floss stash. I have a lot of fancy flosses. They're in one container and they're in floss away bags, but I want to organize them better. My DMC is a mess, and there's a lot of it, and I am just kind of tired of running down to Hobby Lobby or Michael's because I think I need a floss color and then finding it a few weeks later. So I will be organizing all of that coming up. So yes, I have been doing a lot of stitching. Now I always sit in front of the wall. Now this wall here has hems, and it has that one right there is the Prairie Schooler. It is Oh Come All You Faithful. It's out of their hems thing. That is just something, I'm going to try to point, this is just something we made. If you followed me before, you saw that He Is Risen. That comes out every year. This umbrella here is a pattern from one of the British magazines that I did years ago, and it's been fully finished for a while. You may recognize the Primrose Cottage Stitches pattern behind me that I actually added to an actual watering can. I don't know if you can see, you can't see that. I want to show you one more old fully finished. This was from DMC, and these are the peeps. And it was a free pattern. I don't know if they still have it on their website. I used all their called for colors. And this was done, gosh, this has been pre-Steve, and Steve and I have been married 12 years actually in a week. So this is probably 15 years old because it was way before Steve. And I just painted this frame blue. It was something I picked up at Goodwill and just framed it in this cute little frame. And I actually did a decent framing job for a change. But I've had this finished, like I said, probably 15, maybe not that long, but at least 12 or 13 years because it predates Steve. That's just an old one. It's sitting up in our living room right now. It's not on the seasonal wall right now. I did have two full finishes, and one of them is actually an Easter finish. I loved this pattern so much. This is from Just Cross Stitch. It's the spring edition, and this is the tulip. That is all stitched with one variegated DMC floss, and the colors are not showing up. It is absolutely gorgeous. Now I usually finish my backs. Of course, the back on this one looks pretty good. So I have not actually covered up the back yet, but because I was stitching with one strand, and I stitched it with one strand of that floss, I will put the name of the floss. I think it was 4510. I just finished it. I found this gorgeous purple gingham trim in Hobby Lobby, and I loved it, and it just was so perfect for this. So I decided to do that. But this is in the Just Cross Stitch current edition, and it's a beautiful tulip, and I absolutely love it. And it's got a spot up there that it hangs, but it's not on there now. My other full finish is something I did a long time ago. It's something I'm very proud of. I love Blackbird designs, but I've only finished one. that's in a bag that I need to get fully finished, and I'm working on another one. And then this is one I finished a long time ago. This is from, I think the book is called Winds of Autumn. It's their autumn book. A lot of people have it, and this is Autumn Bird. And then I'm going to try not to get the glare. So I ordered this frame off Etsy. It's a 7x7, and I also ordered a custom mat, and I just framed it in this mat in the round. I stitched that with all the called for colors. I'm going to try to work on this glare. That's better. I stitched it with all the called for colors, and I think I probably finished that. I think this has been finished since 2022. I couldn't figure out how to fully finish it. So I did. Finally, I'm like, I'm going to do something to get it fully finished. And then the back of my frame, I took some cardboard and put it to the back, and there is a little bit of interfacing to protect the stitching on the back. But yes, Blackbird Designs, I think it's called Winds of Autumn. It's their big autumn book. A lot of us have it. And this is my full finish. My colors are not showing up so great here. I don't know why the light's kind of going in and out. We're using some natural light. I have a light over there. We have lights. We have lights everywhere. So that is my full finish. My 2 full finishes and then an old full finish. I did have one complete finish. I have not. You're going to probably know what this one is if you watched last month. And I did not bring my board out here. So I am just going to use the back of a book. This is Prairie Schoolers 2020 Santa. I stitched this with all the called for colors on 18 count Vintage Country Mocha. I am now doing all of my Prairie Schooler Santas on Vintage Country Mocha. It just, and probably, I like the size at 18 count. Again, this is the 2020. It's called North Wind. It's finished. I now have 5 Prairie Schooler Santas finished, and I have not decided how they're all going to be fully finished. I am looking at some options, but no decisions have been made. That takes us right into my starts. I had 3 starts, and they were all Christmas. This is the 2020 Prairie Schooler Santa. I bought this somewhere. That is just that's not in the pattern. Those little scratches there are not in the pattern. But this is 2020. I chose to do the 2020 Prairie Schooler Santa this time because my son was born in 2020. And I wanted to do this one. So as soon as I finished that, the night that I finished it, I did not have much left to do. So I decided that I would just go ahead and start my next one. Again on 18 count, Vintage Country Mocha. And this is all I got done. So, hey, it is a start. I do my Prairie Schoolers. I usually work on them on most Monday nights. And also, I think it's the Homespun Needlework group. I always, Julie, please forgive me. I always forget the name of your group. But they also have, they stitch Christmas on the 25th. And I always join that. And I'm always stitching something Christmassy on the 25th. Now, I don't have the actual pattern because this was a digital download, but in 2020, Luminous Fiber Arts came out with a Christmas bird trio. I have done 2 of them, and I am now working on the 3rd. Now, I'm so far along on this, you can kind of guess. This is the brown bird, the wren, and I started it, and I'm already here. Now, I'm going to have to frog the tail. There is a mistake there. I'm stitching this on some 28 count aqua fabric. It's an even weave. And I'm using all the called for colors. The colors are not showing up good for anything here today. We'll have to work on that for next time. But I actually absolutely love these little birds. And I'm going to fully finish. I fully finished the other 2 in a hoop with some red gingham trim around the hoop and then covered up the back with some wood. That's how I finish a lot of things. If you guys know, I do love my gingham. So all the gingham prints. Now, Sarah at Sarah Stitches, she's to blame for this next one. I will post a link to her videos down below. I think it was her whip parade. She showed this. This is Santa Claus is Coming to Town by Autumn Lane Stitchery. Oh my gosh. I saw her finish. The colors just pop. And she had said this, that it's all DMC, but it's colors you would not think would work. But they do. And I have started this. I have a very small start. I am using the called for color fabric, but I'm using an 18 count. 18 count has become a size that I like. It's become one of my favorites. It's either 18 count or 28 count, linen or even weave. I'm fine with either. And I like to work on 32 count. I'll work on anything. But I have been doing a lot on 18 count. So this is my very small start on this. I just started working on the S. I just had what I told my best friend. I said, I have startitis, and I do. I want to start all the things, and you may see a lot of new starts in May. But this is the pattern, and I'm telling you, it's gorgeous. It's pretty big. I don't know if I'll have it finished by Christmas, but it seems like it's going to be a fun stitch. And like I said, I just wish you could, the colors just pop on this. Go back and look at Sarah's video and see how gorgeous it looks. So those were all of my starts, and all of them were Christmas. Prairie Schooler Santa, Christmas Bird Trio, and Santa Claus is Coming to Town. So I do have quite a few whips, and these are not in any particular order. I know that everybody is watching as several people are stitching, and I'm not going to say it right because I forgot to look to see how to say it right. I think it's called teltastai. It is the Greek word for it is finished. In my last video, I said he is finished. But I am stitching that in a stitch along with Susie Q Stitches, and I've only gotten the border. This is not going to be finished by April. I am stitching this in DMC 321 red, and I'm stitching on 36 count Edinburgh linen. The reason I'm only this far along is I had to frog the border 6 times. 6 times! I frogged the border 6 times. I didn't mean to get in your face there, but yes, I frogged the border 6 times. I will post a picture of the pattern on my Instagram if I don't get to insert it in here. Last time I was trying to insert things and things went a little haywire, and I'm doing a lot of patterns that are now only on markup, so I'm going to be working on inserting things next time. You guys have seen this whip since 2021. I'm about tired of it, but I got a good bit of progress. This is One Nation from Bygone Stitches. I am stitching this with my best friend. She is a cross stitcher who taught me 28, 29 years ago. She does not do a FlossTube. She doesn't really do a lot of Instagram, but she does amazingly beautiful work, and sometimes I share her whips. So it's hard to show this because this is so big. But I am all, as y'all know, I have done all of the states, and I am basically working on the little lines, the stripes, so to speak. I will make it where you can see a little bit more of close to where I am done. I'm so awkward doing these things, but I enjoy doing them. And honestly, having them, when I was going back to look at some of my really old whips, I was able to go back and I didn't remember what fabric I had stitched some of them on. I just went back to some of my old FlossTubes. But as you can see, some of these stripes here, that's where I am. And I don't have that many to go. Down here, I mentioned that I was going to put my initials in the year. Hopefully it will be year 2021, and I hope to finish this in 2025. I mean, if I just put a lot more work on it, I know I could get it finished pretty quickly because actually I don't have that much to go. But, you know, these stars, they've been done for a couple of years, and I've just been working on the states and the stripes. I don't know why. It's like I'll love it and I'll stitch on it continuously for like a few days, and then I'll put it down. My best friend came over and visited this month. I can't remember. It's been a couple of weeks ago, and we were going to stitch on it, and we had talked about a lot of things we're both stitching that we were going to stitch on. And I pulled it out, and after she left, I picked it up, and then I picked it up for a couple of more times. Poor Steve. This is an old whip that I've been working on for him. Again, probably since, I think it's 2021. And this isn't even a big one. This is from Heartstring Samplery. This is called The Coffee Drinker's Confession. It says, I don't have a problem with coffee. I have a problem without coffee. I have been working on this. This is on 32 count Wren linen, and I love Wren linen, and that's what I also had completed the bird on. I am so far along on this, and again, I should get a finish. I did this bird, and I did that coffee cup. I am using all the called for colors. Most of them are the called for what I call fancy flosses. Some of them are, a couple of them are the DMC colors because I couldn't find, the fancy flosses were out. I'm going to try to finish this, I don't know, maybe by his birthday in November. But I did. I finishing up, and I could show you a little bit more. This bird was a lot of fun to stitch, and that's what I did. And then I did the coffee cup, and you really can't tell, but there's some little steam. Yeah, you can see it coming from the coffee. So that one is like probably should have been finished in 2023. Here we are in 2025. I said, poor Steve, I'm stitching that for him. Also, here's another one I know I started in 2021. This is called Long May She Wave, and this is from Little House Needleworks. And this is what it looks like, but I'm doing mine differently. I'm using all the called for colors because it really didn't have called for colors. It just said to use blue and brown and whites. But it came with a floss pack that I bought from Shepherd's Needle out of Arkansas. I'm stitching this on some 16 count Country French Cafe Mocha Ada. I do not like the fabric, but I'm going to finish this because I've had it in my stash so long. The difference is all of their houses are white. I'm doing mine red, white, and the next house will be blue. Since I saw you last, I finished more of the grass. I finished that house, and I finished that tree. So I put the word long in. I don't have much to go on this one. And this, once I stitch on it, it's a fast stitch. So it's not like this is a really slow stitch or anything. It's a fast stitch once I start stitching on it. So I want this up because I don't have a lot for summer to go back here, and I definitely want to have this ready by summer. This is my next one is one of my favorite stitches, but all of our projects are our favorites. That's why we pick them. So this is from The Proper Stitcher. There is room at the table for everyone. I am stitching mine with DMC 936. I am stitching it on some Grace Notes fabric, and it is gingerbread latte, and I absolutely love this fabric. It's got the browns, but if you look really closely, it has a little bit of a pink tinge to it. If you hear noise, Steve has decided that he wants to play music over there, so sorry, he's gonna turn it off. But so this is where I am. I've decided to start stitching the words because when Steve has an appointment every week with a speech therapist, and these are easy to do when I'm waiting for him in the doctor's office. So since I saw you last, I finished this motif here, and I'm working on this motif. I have found that I want to stitch with DMC because it's just easier. I know it's color fast, and it's easier for me to, if I run out, it's easier for me to run and pick up some DMC. Because I don't have a local needlework store here, which is sad. If anybody wants to put one in the Chattanooga, Tennessee area, please let me know. But yes, this is where I am. So I stitch this one, and I stitch that. And there's room at the table for everyone. I may stitch this again and give it to someone. It's a long story. Now, guys, I talk fast, and I don't unzip and unzip bags. I don't talk a lot. So this is the last whip, and that was a lot of projects to get through in less than 20 minutes. This has become my favorite whip. This is from Just Cross Stitch Magazine. It is from August of 2023. It is summer, and it is designed by Jenny Barton of JB Cross Stitch, and this is how it looks, the full pattern. And I made some amazing progress on it. I don't know why. I started doing this as soon as the magazine came out in 2023. I took it to St. Simon's Island with us on our trip, and I started it down there 2 years ago. And then I don't know why, I just put it aside. Why do we do that? I mean, I have tons of projects I love but are just sitting elsewhere. Oh, I got so much. That is all new. I don't know how much of this I had done last time, but all of this was done in March. And some in April because I did stitch on this. I stitched on this Thursday night. So I also stitched on my, y'all know I'm cross stitching a photo of my son. It's a full coverage, and unless you do a lot of it, it doesn't look any different than what it did last month. And I only stitched on it one night, and I probably stitched 60 or 70 stitches. So I'm not even going to show that today. So that's it. That's all of my finishes, my fully finishes, and my whips. I don't really talk a lot about plans because sometimes I did not plan to start on Santa Claus is Coming to Town by Autumn Lane Stitchery, but it was already kitted up, and I just happened to see it, and and I have a big old bin full of things I already have kitted up, which is really sad. This is why I don't buy a lot of things, because I have so many things kitted up already. And I happened to see it. I don't even know why. I said, I'm just going to go ahead and start it. So I did. I am looking forward to doing a little bit to making sure that I have enough things for summer. Stitching with the Housewives just came out with a play ball pattern that I did download, and then I'm going to do, because I already have one baseball pattern and I'm working on one, and I'll show those on my next video. My plan is to film on May 3rd or May 4th, because that gives it about a month time. I don't feel like, even though I stitch every night, and I don't feel like that I do enough to do. I was doing weekly floss tubes in 2021, but it was the pandemic. We weren't going anywhere, and I was stitching a lot more. I mean, that was pretty much all I did. And I do stitch every night. I very rarely miss a night. And I stitch a lot now, but I still don't feel like I tend to stitch on the same projects, and that kind of gets boring. So I'd rather just come back once a month when I might have more new starts and more FFOs and more finishes. So anyway, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you've liked what you've seen, please, I'd forget to tell everybody to subscribe or like the video. Maybe that's why I don't have a lot of subscribers. I forget to ask for them. But I'm so appreciative of you stopping by and spending some of your time with me. You guys have a great month of April. Happy Easter, and we will see you in May.